The movement to impeach Donald Trump over the Iran war has gone completely nuclear, for lack of a better term. Remember Alex Jones, the conspiracy theorist whose Alex Jones' show has ended almost as many times as we've won the Iran war, and yet somehow he keeps producing content. He's still out there. Alex Jones was one of the strongest, loudest supporters of Donald Trump for years, and he now says it's Trump. It's time for Trump to go. 25th Amendment, impeachment, whatever it takes to remove Donald Trump. The same Alex Jones, by the way, who enthusiastically supported Trump and promoted his movement to millions of people and helped create the kind of conspiratorial universe in which MAGA did so well, he now says it is time to stop Trump. It's a matter of national emergency. Take a look at this.
The big issue is how to stop Trump. And we have to have Congress go for the war powers. They've 3 times tried to vote war powers. They're supposed to authorize a war. This is a war. They're getting the draft ready. If this isn't a war, nothing's a war. I mean, this is absolutely out of control. And so I'm calling for it right now. 25th Amendment, impeachment, whatever needs to happen to get this front and center, to get control of our country. It's impeachable alone that the president supporting the NDAA. I agree with Tucker Carlson that all of the people that voted for this to merge us with the foreign military, it actually says it in Section 219, clear as day, need to be in Nuremberg-style trials. I mean, this is unbelievable. And if you think it's crazy now, imagine what's coming with this. They want us in a total war so they can censor and take our freedoms and nationalize everything and push us aside with AI, total liability, immunity, and protection. This is a disaster. We are facing tyranny, but the public's awakening. We've got to come together and transcend left and right. And we have to say no to an expanded war that will definitely destroy the economy, kill a bunch of our troops. They're preparing a massive ground invasion. It's all confirmed. This is going down right now. Rex, what do you think we should do to spotlight this? I'll tell listeners, we're live right now, share our live feed. We're going to cut all this up. Breaking. Alex Jones calls for impeachment of President Trump for attempt to implement the national draft and launch total ground invasion of Iran. Americans left and right must come together now and demand Congress invoke the war powers and end this war now. The Senate must vote down the NDAA that's already passed the House. We have our action plan. Rex Jones, what do you say?
So Alex Jones is just furious over the Iran war. And he says the administration is preparing to reinstate the draft and launch this massive ground invasion. I don't think they're about to reinstate the draft. I do think the ground invasion is possible because Trump even said sometimes you've got to go in with ground troops. We will see. Now, to be very clear, Alex Jones talks about this is all confirmed. It's not all confirmed. And it's not that I present Alex Jones not as an example of reliable information, but as an example of someone who used to be a big supporter of Trump's, who's joining this growing group of hard right figures, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, these types of people. They believe that Trump has betrayed a bunch of his promises that were at the center of America first. They're, if nothing else, hardcore nativists. And Alex Jones is kind of going further than a lot of the others have been willing to go. He says Trump's behavior is impeachable. He says the 25th Amendment should be invoked. He says Congress needs to reassert war powers. And then, because it's Alex Jones, he calls for Nuremberg-style trials of administration officials and says Trump wants a total war so the government can censure Americans and nationalize everything and replace the population with AI and gay frogs and all this type of stuff. It gets wacky, but like with one rant, Alex Jones goes from a defensible constitutional argument that Trump should be removed, which I agree with completely, into this like AI takeover conspiracy stuff. But the defensible part, I think, is very important. Is Congress supposed to authorize a war? Yes, they are. Trump can't transform an unauthorized military campaign into this open-ended regional war just because he feels like it. And Congress should invoke the war powers resolution. They should force an actual vote. That's all true. And Alex Jones is correct. If American forces are sustained and are engaged in a sustained combat against Iran, Congress can't keep pretending that this is a limited operation, an incursion, an excursion, whatever Trump is calling it these days. You need authorization, you need oversight. This is just basic stuff. And this kind of political rupture is very much front and center. And go back to Trump's promises. He said he was the one person who wouldn't go into the endless wars in the Middle East, pointless wars. Tulsi, who the last liberal who found that actually, yes, Trump is right about that. He's the one guy who can keep us out of these wars. And his supporters depicted him as the only, Hillary was going to get us into all these wars. Biden was going to get into wars. Harris was going to get into all these wars. And the only person equipped to keep us out of another Middle East disaster is Trump. And so they attacked Democrats and they said, these neocon Republicans, they're also warmongers. We need Trump. Trump now has a war that he owns. The coalition that helped to elect him has completely fractured. Tucker is attacking the administration. Candace Owens has turned against Trump. Even Steve Bannon, who still supports Trump overall and says we're going to figure out a way for him to get a third term. Crazy stuff. Even Steve Bannon has criticized the war. And now Alex Jones says it's time for impeachment, 25th Amendment, and criminal trials. These people have participated in promoting countless lies for Trump. They created the Trump movement. We are not rehabilitating them because they finally stumbled upon one of Trump's disasters that they're willing to criticize. But we should welcome every vote, every voice, every little ounce of pressure that might prevent a ground invasion and maybe will help to get this thing wrapped up. Alex Jones spent years building this monster and he lost control of the monster. And that applies to Fox News, New York Post, a lot of these outlets. He's horrified, Jones is, that the monster is now doing some of the stuff that he doesn't like. So there's zero redemption for Alex Jones. Just a terrible, disgusting person who somehow, after his show ended 50 times, he keeps finding a way to be in front of a camera. But this is an unmistakable sign that the whole America First coalition has blown itself apart. And now the question is, what electoral consequences is it going to have? This is now up to us. I've been talking to a lot of different creators lately. What will be most motivating for people to go out and vote these Republicans out? Or listen, it's a midterm. If some people who would vote for Republicans decide to stay home, that's almost as good. It's still a vote that they're losing. Foreign policy is not very motivating. It's just, you check the polling, it's so low on the list of what gets people to vote, especially in a midterm. Economic stuff that's salient to I'm looking at the cash in my wallet and there's very little of it. And I leave the grocery store and I spent a bunch of money, but I don't have any stuff. That is extremely motivating. And so all of this stuff together needs to be hammered on. Trump's incompetence and that he deserves removal, probably somewhere in between the economic stuff and the foreign policy stuff. But we have to figure out what is going to get people motivated to vote out Republicans or to just stay home while we go and vote them out. Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.